cookies in the oven. I've checked on the elves. Oh, yes, I have to send Santa's suit out for dry cleaning. Oh, well, hello there. How are you doing today? I'm so happy to see you. I'm Mrs. Santa Claus. Oh.
Hello? 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 This is Mrs. Claus. Can you hear me down there? Can you hear me down there? Oh, hello. Hello, hello, hello. I'm Mrs. Santa Claus, and this is my North Pole home. Hello, boys and girls. Once again, I am coming to you through the magic of a satellite to see you all the way from my home in the North Pole. I'm so happy to see you once again, as I have every year for the past many, many years now. Some of the boys and girls that I spoke to when I first started doing this show are all grown up and have children of their own now. Mrs. Santa Claus never gets any older, though. It's the magic of living in the North Pole. Today, during our show, we're going to have lots of fun. I'm going to read some of your letters, and I'm going to read from Santa's book of good girls and boys, and we're going to check in with the elves down in the toy department to see what kind of progress they're making on this year's toy making. And we're going to talk to Freddie. Freddie, as you know, is my best friend here in the North Pole, besides Santa Claus, of course. Hello, Freddie. How are you doing today?
I'm doing really good, Mrs. Claus. I'm really happy to see the boys and girls again.
Freddie, you don't look a day older than you did last year.
Oh, Mrs. Claus, I found a gray needle in my needles, and I had to go to the beauty salon and have my grays touched up.
Oh, that's ridiculous, Freddie. They don't touch up fir trees. There's a reason why you're called evergreen. It's because you never ever lose your green.
Well, Mrs. Claus, maybe it was all in my head, but they charged me $95 for a touch-up at the salon.
Oh, Freddie, I think you were taken. They saw you coming a mile off. Anyway, you look great to me. Do you have any jokes for the boys and girls on this first show of 2015?
Sure, Mrs. Claus, you know me. I always have jokes for the boys and girls.
All right, Freddie, then. Let her rip.
Okay, Mrs. Claus, for the first one, where does a snowman put his money?
Where does a snowman put his money? I can't even imagine. I don't know. He doesn't go to the bank. He doesn't go to the ATM. I don't know, Freddie. Where does a snowman put his money?
In a snowbank, Mrs. Claus. In a snowbank.
Oh, Freddie, that's ridiculous. If he put his money in a snowbank, eventually the snowbank would melt and the money would be all soggy. Oh, Freddie, come on now. Give me a better joke than that. I'm really, really waiting for a really good joke.
Okay, Mrs. Claus, let me see if this one will make you laugh. I gotta think for a second. Okay, how about this one? Did you know Santa had only 8 reindeer last Christmas?
What? That's preposterous. Of course not. Santa had the usual number of reindeer. He had the regular 8, and then he had Rudolph. What are you talking about?
Oh, no. Last year, Comet stayed home to clean the sink. You like that one, Mrs. Claus?
Oh, Freddie. Oh, we would never, 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 never have the reindeer clean the sink here at the North Pole. You know that that's the elf's job. That is not my job. I do the cooking and I do the supervising, but I do not do any cleaning. It's in my contract. That's the elf's job, not the reindeer's.
Oh, I know, Mrs. Claus, but I still think it's a pretty funny joke. You know, Comet and all that stuff that people use to clean the sink. Okay, I got another one for you. I got another snowman joke.
A snowman joke, okay. Let's hear another snowman joke, but a better one than the one about the bank. Okay, Freddie?
Okay, Mrs. Claus, what do snowmen do all year in the woods?
What do snowmen do all year in the woods? I have no idea. I don't even know how they get to the woods. What do snowmen do all year in the woods, Freddie?
They chill out, Mrs. Claus.
Oh, Freddie, I think you better go back to the drawing board and come back with better jokes than that. That's ridiculous. Hopefully, you used up the bad ones on the first show and you'll have a better joke for us tomorrow. But right now, you know how Mrs. Claus enjoys watching the Christmas decorators videos from down there on the world. Well, they'll be North Pole is on the world, but we're at the top of the world, and everybody else in the world is down there. So let's go down there and take a look at a festively decorated house. Let's see it.
Let me tell you about this house. There's one in every town. It's the one at Christmas time where folks all gather round. Most times of the year you'd pass by and not look back. Oh, but in December it'll stop you in your tracks. 'Cause it's got 47,000 twinkling lights and Santa Claus up on the roof, Dasher and Dancer and all the other reindeer. Rudolph's up there too, with a band of merry snowmen dancing on the porch, and a couple of carolers singing by the lamppost over near the front door. Jesus and his family in a stable on the lawn, and a choir of heavenly angels singing Silent Night till dawn. It's where everybody meets. It's the house on Christmas Street. Every year, Thanksgiving Day, while we digest our turkey, the family puts up its display. You can see it from Albuquerque. Papa says their electric bill must reach up to the sky, but Mama says the joy it brings is more than money can buy. 'Cause it's got 47,000 twinkling lights and Santa Claus up on the roof, Dasher and Dancer and all the other reindeer. Rudolph's up there too, with a band of merry snowmen dancing on the porch, and a couple of carolers singing by the lamppost over near the front door. Jesus and his family in a stable on the lawn, and a choir of heavenly angels singing Silent Night till dawn. It's where everybody meets. It's the house on Christmas Street. Every tree is all aglow with a Merry Christmas banner hanging high. It's so pretty in the snow. It's got to put a sparkle in your eye, in your eye. 'Cause it's got 47,000 twinkling lights and Santa Claus up on the roof, Dasher and Dancer and all the other reindeer. Rudolph's up there too, with a band of merry snowmen dancing on the porch, and a couple of carolers singing by the lamppost over near the front door. Jesus and his family in a stable on the lawn, and a choir of heavenly angels singing Silent Night till dawn. It's where everybody meets. It's the house on Christmas Street. Christmas Street.
Oh, yay, hooray! That was just terrific. I love how those lights dance to the music. And now, boys and girls, it's that very special time when Mrs. Claus reads the letters that you have written just for her. Now, I know most of you write to Santa Claus, but every once in a while, there's a letter for me. So let's see what we have in my big basket. It says, Mrs. Santa, North Pole. All right. Okay, let's see what this one says. Dear Mrs. Claus, this is so cool. I've never met Mrs. Claus. I have a few questions. What is your favorite thing about your husband? There are so many things I love about my husband. Well, let's see. I like that he's very, very handsome, and he's very, very nice. He's kind to everyone, and I think that's a good quality to have. And let's see. He's also, he's very generous. He spends all year round making toys with the elves in the toy shop, and then he just gives them away. So I like that he's very, very generous. And he's also very, very funny. He makes Mrs. Claus laugh. And he likes my cooking, which is really a stretch. But I would have to say that my favorite thing about my husband is he has beautiful blue eyes. Now Mrs. Claus is blushing. Okay, let's see what the next question is. Number 2, what do you think of all the different Christmas shows? Which one is the most truthful? Well, I have to say something about that. I'm glad you asked me. The one that I really have a problem with is the story of Rudolph, because you see, that's not quite how it happened. The story of Rudolph that they show on TV, my Santa Claus is shown as being very, very mean to the little Rudolph. And Santa Claus was never very, very mean to the little Rudolph. Yes, he did find it was kind of odd that he had a red nose, but he never said that he couldn't be on the reindeer team. That's something that someone in Hollywood made up. I like the one, I can't remember what it's called, but it's the one with the song that goes, put one foot in front of the other. I like that one. That tells the story of how Santa and I met, you know. And so since I'm included, I really think that one is the best one. Let's see, number 3, how big are elves? That's a good question. Many people think that elves are very, very tiny, but elves come in all shapes and sizes, just like people. Some of them are very small, and some of them are very tall. There is no one size for elves. Every size fits elves. Okay, does that answer all your questions? And then it says, thank you so much for doing this. With love, Samantha from Auburn, New Hampshire, in 6th grade, 11 years old. You know what I love, Samantha? I love that you still believe in Santa Claus and in me and in all of the magic here at the North Pole. And I wish you a very, 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 very Merry Christmas, Samantha. Thank you very much for writing. Now, let's see if we have time for another letter. Oh, this one's in a golden envelope. I mean, silver. Mrs. Claus doesn't know her colors. Oh, it says, thinking of you on the back. Okay, let's see what this one says. Dear Mrs. Claus, my name is Seth Logan, and I am 7 years old. I live in Portland, Maine. I have sent my Christmas list to Santa Claus, but I was wondering if you could put in a good word for me. I became a big brother for the first time last year, and I have tried to be a very good brother. I have a baby sister named Sophie, and she is very loud, and sometimes she smells bad. Babies smell bad sometimes. But I still love her. I can't wait until she is older and can play with me, and I can teach her things. But for now, she doesn't do much. Still, I try to help Mommy and Daddy out and keep my room clean and take care of my dishes. Oh, that's very, very good, Seth. You are a very good boy, I can tell. Could you please tell me what Santa Claus's favorite cookies are? Daddy says we can just leave Chips Ahoy, but I'm sure he must like something better than that. Your friend, Seth. Well, Seth, Chips Ahoy would be just fine. You know, Santa Claus likes to eat every kind of cookie. It doesn't matter if they come in a package, because some people are very, very busy and can't bake. But if you have time to bake, Santa Claus loves Christmas sugar cookies the very best. And he especially likes the kind that he can tell have been decorated by boys and girls, because sometimes the decorations are a little messy, and you can't quite tell if it's a Christmas tree or a sleigh. But it doesn't matter what they look like. It's all in how they taste. So Santa Claus would love those cookies the best, but as I said, Chips Ahoy would be just fine as well. Let's see. I think we have time to read one more letter. Let's see what we have in here. Okay. I wonder what this one says. There's an address, but no return address. Let's see what's inside. Dear Mrs. Claus, what's your favorite food? Oh, someone is asking me what my favorite food is. Well, there are so many. Mrs. Claus, you know, doesn't always keep to the best diet. My very favorite food in the whole wide world is fried chicken. I don't get to eat it very often, but I do love a good plate of fried chicken. And I like to put ketchup on it. That's a little secret. I also love lobster, but I don't get that very often. Once in a while, when Santa and I are on vacation and we go down to Maine, we get some fresh caught lobster right off the boat. But here in the North Pole, it's too cold for the lobster. We don't get any lobster here, and even if we did, they'd be magical lobster, and we could not eat anything magical that's here at the North Pole. What is your favorite cookie recipe? My favorite cookie recipe is candy cane cookies, and I'll be demonstrating an easy way to make those later on the show. Not this show, but later on during the week. What is your favorite reindeer? I could never say my favorite reindeer. Oh, no. Mrs. Claus does not play favorites, although I am partial to Comet. I'm just kidding. No, don't tell the other reindeer I said that. What is your favorite animal? Well, I can't possibly choose one. When I was a little girl, I really had a thing for koala bears, and I had many stuffed koala bears, but I would have to say now that my favorite animal is a doggie. I love doggies. They're very, very loyal, and they follow you all around, and they're very fun to have around. We have about 72 doggies here at the North Pole, and I love them all. I like kitty cats too, but doggies are my favorite. Do only elves help you cook, or do any elves help you cook, or do they all work for Santa? No one helps me cook. I am the queen of my kitchen. But, as I said before, the elves do help out with cleaning, but mostly they are in charge of making toys. Do you need new equipment for what kids want these days? That's absolutely true. We had to hire scientists and technical people and people who knew about computers and all these things because of all these electronic things that kids want for Christmas these days. So we have a whole new department that's been in operation for about 20 years, but it has to be upgraded every year. But you know, Mrs. Claus, I prefer the old-fashioned toys, the kind where children have to use their imaginations. Don't you? I mean, electronics are fine, but I don't like to see a kid with his face in his iPod or iPad or whatever you call those things all day long. I like for a child to use their imagination. So I hope you have a good balance between toys that you can use your imagination with and toys that are electronic. Let's see. Or do the elves make iPads, iPods, and ripsticks? I don't even know what a ripstick is. That's one for the IT department. Sincerely, Autumn. Well, Autumn, thank you very, very much for writing to me, and I think that's all I have time for letters for today, but don't worry. You can send your letters to me, Mrs. Santa Claus @gmail.com, and I would love to receive your letters, and I'll read them here on my show. But now, it's time for me to take this very special book. You know what this book is, don't you? This is Santa Claus's book of good girls and boys. Oh, my goodness, a $5 bill. I don't know if someone put this in here to try to bribe Santa to put their name in his list of good girls and boys, but I'm telling you, it doesn't work that way. You have to be very, very good, like these children were. June and Shelby, Shanae and Brock, Nikki, Laura, Dick and Dawn, Camden, Carter, Lou, Joshua, Amber, Sam, Trina, Kaylee, Monica, Kayla, Alyssa, Chantel, and Kenneth. There's Rosalie and Russell, Shiloh and Chandra, Shania and Geraldo. There's Tatum and Hayden, Stephen and Brett, Bianca, Annabelle, Becky, Amanda, and Cameron. There's Ben and Taylor, Jason and Andy, Miranda, Dylan, Karen and Richard, Jeff, Ellen, Hugh and Georgia, Goldwaith, Jimmy, Shannon and Harry, Charles, Sahil, Donald, Emmett, Travis, Colin, Rob, Ross, Zubin, Mark, Adrian, Cliff and Tessa, Amber, Autumn? Oh, Autumn, your name is in the book of good girls and boys. William and Tasha. And that's all I have time to read for today. Don't worry if you didn't hear your name in Santa's book of good girls and boys. This is a very big book, as you can see, and it's magical. It has even more pages than this that you can't see. So I bet your name is in here somewhere. But right now, we have to go and check in with the head elf, Holly, and find out how progress is going down at the North Pole workshop. It's only 5 days until Christmas, so I hope they've got a good handle on things down there. Holly, how are things going?
Oh, hi, Mrs. C. Oh, keep on working in there, fellas. Keep up the good job. Mrs. Claus, everything is going splendidly. I think this is looking to be our best Christmas yet. Even now, 5 days till Christmas, we're ahead of schedule. All of the halls have been decked. We've tasted all of your delicious cookies. The reindeer have been fed. The letters to Santa have been sorted, and all the lights have been hung. It's looking really well. In fact, I think our toy production is the highest it's ever been. Check out this handy chart I got from the boys downtown.
Holly, it appears from that lovely chart that toy production is going down according to your arrow.
Down? Oh, sorry. Must have had it upside down. There we go. Up.
That looks much better.
We're going to make a lot of boys and girls really happy this year. All right. Oh, I hear them calling me back at the workshop. There's always things to be done, even 5 days till Christmas. I'll check back in with you tomorrow to let you know how things are going.
No, don't do that. Oh, the light is on. Oh, you caught Mrs. Claus touching up my lipstick. I just want to make sure I look good on television when I see all of you boys and girls and families gather around to watch my show. This year, I've decided to do something a little bit different that I've never done before on the Mrs. Santa Claus show. I want to share with you some of my very favorite things from my collections. I love to collect things, and people are always giving me gifts. I love it. And so they go into my very special collections. I have thousands and thousands of things. There's a whole building here at the North Pole just to house my collections. But I thought that I would show you some of the most very special things to me that come from my collections. Today, I'm going to show you my collection of Santa Clauses, or part of my collection of Santa Clauses. Now, this is a very interesting Santa Claus. It's on a stick, so you can play with it like a puppet. La-dee-dee, I'm Santa Claus. I love this little Santa Claus. He's got a very festive beard, and he's holding a little tiny sack. That is not accurate, however. Santa's real sack is gigundo. Okay, now let me look at this one. Was a very special Santa Claus. See, can you see it? It is made out of fabric, and it's stuffed with something, I don't know what, and it smells like peppermint. And this was a gift to Mrs. Santa from the one and only Judy Pancoast. She made it all by her only self. And here's another one that she sent along with it. This one has a sack that looks more like Santa's real sack. This is very, very old. Judy Pancoast made this when she was very, very young, and she's not very young anymore. Don't tell her I said that. We're going to see her in a little while. And I don't want you to tell her that I said she was old. But these are very, very nice Santas. This one smells like peppermint. This one smells like cinnamon. Oh, I love this Santa. He's very, very round, and he has a bell. He's almost as round as the real Santa. And here's a couple of very old Santa Clauses. They are old, and they're on skis. So you can make them ski. Wee! Oh, I don't want them to ski off the table. They might break. And they have a sack hole, so you could like put some candy or some peppermint sticks or something in there if you wanted to. I like to keep them under the tree here at the North Pole. This Santa Claus is a candle. Now, boys and girls, you must be very, very careful. Never, never, never light candles on your own. Always wait for mommy or daddy or an older brother or sister who's much, much older, like a teenager, and not 12, but, 15 or 16. They can play with No, they can't play with matches, but they could light a candle like this Santa Claus candle. And here we have Santa on a sled. It's very, very festive. decorative. You can hang it on your tree, or you can hang it on the wall. It's very, very nice. I love that one. Oh, here's another Santa. Whoops, hold on. He's a little tangled. Here's another Santa for hanging on the tree. Isn't he cute? Do you like this little Santa? He has green mittens. They're very, very cute. Now, what else have I got in here? Oh, I have more candles. This one is a very tall Santa. Now, the wick is coming right out of his hat. So if we were to burn this one, it would burn Santa's hat and then eventually burn his whole head. We can't do that. So I have never put a match to this Santa because I don't want him to go up in flames. And here's another one that I have also never lit for the exact same reason. But aren't they very cute? Yes, it's much safer to light this one because the Santa is actually a mug with the candle inside. Okay, and here's another one that I have never lit. Also a Santa candle, very, very old. I don't think they make these kind of Santa candles anymore because nobody wants to light Santa's head on fire. All right, I'm going to move these over here so that you can see some of these other ones. This one is a tumbling Santa. You can have him stand like this, or you can have him stand on his hand. You can even have him stand on his head. Woo-hoo! The real Santa cannot stand on his head. He hasn't been able to do that since he was just a little boy. But I like this one because he can stand on his head. And here we have Santa in a helicopter. And he goes like this. Whee! There he goes. Let's wind him up again. Whee! Oh, wait, he's not going. Oh, now he's going backwards. Let's see if we go this way. Oh! Look at that. Let's do that one more time. Whee! Oh no! He fell right off the table. And here's another one that's sort of like that one. It's a little Santa in a train. Let's see if he'll move. Here we go. Oh, he crashed. Let's try that again. Oh, there he goes. Right off the table again. Oh, very, very silly. And this one is another Santa Claus that you wind up and he walks. Dee-dee-dee-dee. Oh, he's not walking very well today. Oh, there he goes. Isn't he cute? Mrs. Santa Claus really, really loves wind-up toys. They're one of my favorite. Now, this Santa Claus is very, very special and breakable. He is made out of something that would break if you dropped him on the floor, so I'm not going to do that. And look, in his hand, he has Freddy the little fir tree, Mrs. Claus's very best friend. Isn't that lovely? And let's see, what else do we have in here? Oh, we have another Santa who's flat. Is flat, and he's good for hanging on the tree. And then we have another Santa who is filled with some sort of beanbag stuff. I don't know. He's very fat, and he cannot fall down because he is beanbag Santa. And here's another beanbag Santa, exactly the same. I don't know why I have two. I'm just crazy about collecting things. And look, here's Santa in a lighthouse. I love this one. Mrs. Claus loves lighthouses. When I was a little girl, before I knew that I was going to be Mrs. Claus, I always thought that I'd live in a lighthouse one day. But no, but Santa does visit everyone, even those people who are way out far near the ocean, guarding all the boats and ships that are out there on the sea. Let's see, I have a few more in here. Oh, look. This one is a very special ornament. It comes from Santa's village, Santa's summer home in Jefferson, New Hampshire. We love going there. If you ever get a chance to go to the beautiful White Mountains of New Hampshire, you should definitely visit Santa Claus at his summer home. Woo! I knocked one over. Oh, and this is one of my very favorites because Santa has such rosy cheeks and he has a bird on his head. Can you see that little birdie on his head? It's so cute, and he's carrying a teddy bear and he's on a sled. I love that one. And then here's another one. Santa dressed up in one of his coats, one of his trench coats with a stocking cap on. Very, very unusual. I think this one came from Canada. And this is actually not called a stocking cap. It's called a toque. It's one of those hats like, did you ever see that show, The Monkees? Oh, no, you're too young. But anyway, there was a guy in The Monkees who used to wear a hat like this with a pom-pom on the top. And I guess this was when Santa was going through his Monkees phase back in the 1960s. Here's another breakable Santa. What did I do with the other one? They're part of a special collection. This one's carrying a candy cane. I'll put them right in the middle, right next to each other. And now, I have saved for last the very, very, very most specialist Santa of all. This one was given to me by Santa on our honeymoon. Nobody knows this, but we went to Disney World on our honeymoon. We couldn't wear our usual clothes because everyone would know us. We had to go in disguise. And if you see this lovely little house, you see Minnie Mouse looking out the window. I'll move it here so you can see it. And then here's Mickey Mouse dressed up as Santa with Dumbo pulling the sleigh instead of reindeer. It's very lovely. Now look and see what happens if you wind it up. It's very, very special. Watch this. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? Mrs. Claus just loves this one so much. I take very, very special care of it all year round so that nothing bad will ever happen to it. And you must take very, very special care of things that are very special to you, too. Always treat them very carefully and never, never, never let tiny little children or dogs or kitty cats near these special things of yours. And now, we were talking about Judy Pancoast before, who made these special ornaments, and now we're going to have a special song from her, exclusively here on A Visit with Mrs. Claus. Take it away, Judy!
Thank you, Mrs. Claus. This one's for all the Christmas decorators who put up so many lights and decorations at Christmas time to make everybody happy. You can dance if you want to, Mrs. Claus. Welcome to my house, I like it when you come by here. To see my decorations, I work hard on them all year. Lots of lights and I must confess, I lost count long ago. Now I'm in just a little mess, 'cause I just don't know where is Santa Claus? Where is Santa Claus? I think I'm losing it, 'cause he's not where I thought he was. Is he up on the roof? Is he out on the lawn? Can you see him through the window? Man, he's gone. Oh, where is Santa Claus? Where is Santa Claus? Can you see the snowman, the elves and the candy canes? Still, I just don't know, man. I think I've gone insane. I thought I left him there in his sleigh, but now he's disappeared. Did he and the reindeer just fly away? Oh, Santa, come back here. Uh-oh, where is Santa Claus? Where is Santa Claus? I think I'm losing it, 'cause he's not where I thought he was. Is he up on the roof? Is he out on the lawn? Can you see him through the window? Man, he's gone. Oh, where is Santa Claus? Where is Santa Claus? My neighbors say my hobby is out of control. I have too many decorations for one yard to hold. Maybe it's true and I've gone too far, 'cause I lost Santa in my own yard. Dance with me, kids. If you see my Santa Claus, please tell me where to look. This feels kinda like Where's Waldo in a picture book. Santa's gotta be here somewhere, he just can't be lost. Maybe he went down the chimney, I'll keep my fingers crossed. Uh-oh, where is Santa Claus? Where is Santa Claus? I think I'm losing it, 'cause he's not where I thought he was. Is he up on the roof? Is he out on the lawn? Can you see him through the window? Man, he's gone. Oh, where is Santa Claus? Where is Santa Claus? Where is Santa Claus? Where is Santa Claus? I see you dancing. If you see him, will you tell me? Because I just don't know. There's so many decorations. There's elves and trees and hey, look, there's Mrs. Claus. Do you know where Santa Claus is? Thank you, Mrs. Claus. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Judy Pancoast. One of our favorite singers here at the North Pole. I can't help but rock back and forth to that festive Christmas music of yours. And now, boys and girls, it's time for Mrs. Claus to share a Christmas story with you. One from my own personal collection in my Christmas bag of books. Let's see. What will I pull out today? Goodness. There's something in here I haven't seen before. What could it be? It's a Christmas present. And here on the back it says, to Mrs. Claus, do not open until Christmas Eve. What should I do? Should I open it? I don't know if I was supposed to find this yet. But it does say, do not open until Christmas Eve. Oh, Mrs. Claus is in a quandary. I'm not sure what I mean, it's not right to open a Christmas present before Christmas, but my curiosity is getting the better of me. I'm going to, no, I'm not. I'm going to put it back in the bag and forget that I even saw it. And I'll open it on Christmas Eve. Okay, all right. I must not give in to temptation. Oh, let's share this wonderful Christmas book, The Legend of the Poinsettia. Do you have a Christmas poinsettia in your house, boys and girls? Mrs. Claus must warn you, though. Poinsettias are very dangerous to kitty cats. So if you have a kitty cat in your home, do not have any real poinsettias. You can have fake poinsettias made out of plastic or fabric or something like that. But no real poinsettias, because those kitties, you know, they like to eat the plants. Yes, they do. But it would be very bad, and you do not want something very bad to happen to your kitty cat at Christmas time especially. So, no real poinsettias in your house this year. Tell Mommy and Daddy. We want to protect all of God's creatures. The Legend of the Poinsettia, retold and illustrated by Tommy DePaula. Woo! He's one of my favorite authors and illustrators. Lucida lived in a small village high up in the mountains of Mexico with her mama, her papa, and her younger brother and sister, Paco and Lupe. Papa worked in the fields with their burro, Pepito. Every evening, Lucida fed Pepito, gave him fresh water, and filled his stall with clean straw. At home, Lucida helped Mama clean their casita, their little house, and pat out the tortillas for their meals. She took care of Paco and Lupe, and each evening they went to the shrine of the Virgin of Guadalupe near the front gate to see if fresh candles were needed. But every day was not work. On Sundays, the family went to San Gabriel in the square where Padre Alvarez said the Mass. And all through the year there were fiestas and holy days, which always began with a procession that wound through the village and ended in San Gabriel. One day, close to Christmas, La Navidad, Padre Alvarez came to their casita. Ah, Senora Martinez, buenos dias. A good day, Padre Alvarez said. I'm here to ask you about the blanket, which covers the figure of the baby Jesus in the Christmas procession. We have used the same one for so many years that it is almost worn out. Because your weaving is so fine, I've come to ask if you would make a new one. Mi padre, Lucida's mother said. I would be honored, and Lucida will help me. Oh, what a good little girl, helping her mama. On Saturday, Lucida and Mama went to the market to buy the wool for the blanket. They chose the finest yarn they could find. At home, Lucida helped Mama dye the wool the colors of the rainbow. Those colors will shine throughout the church, Papa said, as he watched Lucida and Mama string the yarn on the loom. As Christmas drew closer, everyone in the village was busy. All the mamas were making gifts to place at the manger of the baby Jesus in the church. The papas worked together putting up the manger scene in San Gabriel. Lucida and the other children went to the church for singing practice for the Christmas Eve procession, when everyone would walk to San Gabriel, singing and carrying candles. Once inside, Padre Alvarez would lay the figure of the baby Jesus in the manger, and the villagers would go up and place their gifts around it. Our gift will be the blanket for the baby Jesus, Lucida told her friends. I am helping Mama weave it. One afternoon, a few days before Christmas Eve, Lucida and the children were singing in the church when Senora Gomez came hurrying in. Lucida, you must come home. Your mama is sick, and your papa has taken her down to the town to see the doctor. You must take care of your brother and sister until your papa returns tonight. Lucida was frightened. Mama had never been sick before. When she got home, Paco and Lupe were crying. They were frightened, too. Lucida tried to comfort them. She made some food and sat down to wait for Papa. That evening, Papa came in looking tired and worried. He drew Lucida close and said, Lucida, mi niña, your mama is ill. Your aunt, Tia Carmen, will take care of Mama until she is well. But I must go back and stay with Mama until I can bring her home. But it won't be until after Christmas. Senora Gomez will take care of you and Paco and Lupe while I am gone. She will come for you tomorrow. The next afternoon, Lucida overheard two women talking. Lucida's mama is ill. She won't be able to finish the blanket for the procession. Isn't it a shame? See, the other woman said, we are all so disappointed. Padre Alvarez will have to use the old worn-out one. When Lucida went home to feed Pepito and get clothes for Paco, Lupe, and herself, she looked at the unfinished blanket on the loom. Perhaps I can finish it, she thought. But when she sat down and tried to weave, the yarn got tangled. The more she tried to untangle it, the worse it got. It was no use. She could never finish it by herself. She took the unfinished blanket to Senora Gomez. Oh, Lucida, it is so tangled. There isn't time for me to fix it, Senora Gomez told her. Tomorrow is Christmas Eve. Lucida started to cry. It was her fault. The blanket was ruined. Her family wouldn't have a gift to place at the manger of the baby Jesus. Don't worry, Lucida. We will all go to the procession together. Lucida didn't say anything, but in her heart she felt that she had ruined Christmas. Come, Paco, come, Lupe. It is time to go to the procession, Senora Gomez called on Christmas Eve. Where is Lucida? She was nowhere to be found. Lucida was hiding. From the shadows, Lucida watched everyone gather for the procession. The candles were lit, the singing began, and the villagers walked to San Gabriel, carrying gifts to place at the manger. Lucida walked along in darkness and watched the procession go into the church, followed by Padre Alvarez, carrying the baby Jesus. Little girl, are you Lucida? An old woman stood in the shadows nearby. See, Lucida answered, wondering who she was. I have a message for you. Your mama is going to be fine, and your papa will bring her home soon, so you don't have to worry. Now go into the church and celebrate Christmas with the others. Paco and Lupe are waiting for you. I can't, Lucida told her. I don't have a gift for the baby Jesus. Mama and I were weaving a beautiful blanket, but I couldn't finish it. I tried, but I only tangled it all up. Ah, Lucida, any gift is beautiful because it is given, the old woman told her. Whatever you give, the baby Jesus will love because it comes from you. But what can I give now? Lucida said, looking around. A patch of tall green weeds grew in a tangle nearby. Lucida rushed over and picked an armful. Do you think these will be all right? Lucida turned to ask the old woman, but she was gone. Lucida walked into the church. It was blazing with candlelight, and the children were singing as she walked quietly down the aisle with a bundle of green weeds in her arms. "What is Lucida carrying?" a woman whispered. "Why is she bringing weeds into the church?" another one murmured. Lucida reached the manger scene. She placed the green weeds around the stable. Then she lowered her head and prayed. A hush fell over the church. Voices began to whisper. "Look! Look at the weeds!" Lucida opened her eyes and looked up. Each weed was tipped with a flaming red star. The manger glowed and shimmered as if lit by 100 candles. When everyone went outside after Mass, all the clumps of tall green weeds throughout the town were shining with red stars. Lucida's simple gift had indeed become beautiful, and every Christmas to this day, the red stars shine on top of green branches in Mexico. The people call the plants La Flor de Nochebuena, the flower of the holy night, the poinsettia. And that is the legend of the poinsettia. And remember, boys and girls, if you have a kitty cat in your house, no real poinsettias, only the imitation ones. And that's it for our visit today. I must go. I have to go see what's going on with the elves. But I'll be back to see you tomorrow at the very same time on this station. Thank you so much for watching, and be very good boys and girls tonight. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.